Is that yours, Mike?
This will be only the 4th street in the history of the city of Pittsburgh to have a renaming in the honor of someone that contributed to the community. And I think it's fitting that Officer Pearman has his name put up on the street sign that we're going to hear today. Before we get going, officially I want to recognize Chief Addington, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it today. He came down under the weather. No pun intended. Anybody? So he wasn't able to make it today. We are fortunate though. We have a lot of folks here, as you can see around us. This is an unbelievable gathering. We have both past and present officers. We have former police officer and now Chief of the City Martinez. Manjeet Sapal is here, somewhere in the crowd. He's in the back. True honor, he got to work with Officer Pearman. We have former captain and current chief of the city of San Pablo, Ron Ramon's back there. Again, had the fortune of working with Donnie throughout his career. On a personal note, myself and Chief Ramon attended the academy with Donnie, and from the day one that I met Donnie, day one of orientation, when you're down there doing the push-ups and getting yelled at and everything else like that, Donnie wore that patch and that badge on his chest with pride. It was definitely the most important thing for him at that time. Every day he was the first one in the parking lot and the last one to leave, and you knew where he worked no matter what. It was PPD this, PPD pride, PPD that. And for his 22-year career, he was the same way. Those that knew him, he was the same way when he started as the last day we had him with us. In fact, there's many times, those that ever had to supervise Donnie, there was times where you had to order Donnie to go home. Well past his shift, still hanging around. I see supervisors, sergeants, past sergeants nodding. You had to basically tell him, Donnie, you're off duty, go home. He loved this place, as well as he loved this community. Pueblo was 15 years of Donnie's 22-year career. He worked out here. This was a piece of him. He always said that this was his second home. He loved this community, and his goal was to provide a little bit of safety, a little bit of happiness, and a little bit of security out here for the residents of El Pueblo. And I want to read real quick, some of you may have seen this a couple years ago, but a posting that Donnie did on his Facebook page. And I just want to read it real quick because I think it's very fitting on how Donnie felt about this city and this community out here in El Pueblo. Another shift down in El Pueblo housing development. I love coming to this housing development, rain or shine. I love citizens of El Pueblo, and I love making this community safe. Even though I'm not on everybody's favorite persons list, there's nothing I would do for the citizens of this small community. And then Donnie goes on to say, one of the main reasons I have worked the same beat for over 15 years, I feel like El Pueblo is my second home. To some people that may sound strange, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And I think that's completely fitting on Donnie and the way he felt about this community and him giving 15 years of his 22-year career out here. Part of that is big help. Today we have little Donnie's son here, and his family. Many of his family members are out here with us today. We want to thank them for allowing us to have Donnie for those 22 years, for allowing him to give himself to this community, and specifically to the El Pueblo community out here. And I want to talk Linda, who's one of the directors out here in El Pueblo. She wanted to say just a few words real quick.
Hi everybody. First of all, I just want to thank everybody for coming out to our community here in El Pueblo. And I want to just speak a little bit about Donnie, what he meant to this community. And he was an officer, he was a cop, but he was more than that. I mean, he would get out of his car and play with the kids and bring them food and bring them snacks, and he parked his car right up there, and he was always parked there when he got in, and the kids knew, and they would come to his car and he'd give them chips and Gatorade, and he'd play basketball with them, he'd order them pizza, he'd bring them gifts. I mean, he went beyond the call of duty, and his presence here is missed so immensely, and we are so happy today that he is being honored, and we will cherish this street sign that's going up. We will take good care of it. We will continue to keep his memory close to our hearts. And you know, tenants still come into this day and they mention him and they tell me how much they miss him and what he meant to this community. And I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out today, and thank you to the police department for this wonderful dedication, and thank you all again.
Thank you, Linda. So this was all small doing, and as you can see, if you look around in this crowd today, we have not only folks from Pittsburg Police Department, from the Pittsburg community, the Pueblo community. We have several members from other agencies. Concord Police Department, who Donnie was close with. We had Con Fire, who was out here earlier, who obviously they worked with Donnie in the years past. But we also want to thank some of our city staff for making this happen, and for the county. Our assistant city manager, Prince McKinley, and his staff at the courtyard for making this happen, working with us, getting these one of 3 signs that will be up here on Officer Donnie Pearman Avenue, and also Jill Hedge and her crew for helping us out and making this happen today. It was an undertaking by many, but well deserved. So with that, I'm going to ask little Donnie to help me, and we're going to unveil our new street sign for Officer Pearman. Got a little help. So again, I appreciate everybody coming out. We were lucky we got a little break in the weather. Thank you, Pastor Castro, for helping out with that. I asked for a little help a couple minutes ago and it worked. And we also have, so for little Donnie, where you at? So for little Donnie, we have a street sign for him to take home and to keep for himself as a little keepsake to honor his father. We're going to call it. I do appreciate everybody for coming out. The staff here for Pueblo Housing, they actually have some refreshments over there, some cookies, some water, some things like that. Please stick around, talk, tell stories. Donnie was one for all of us, and he's definitely beloved by this community. So thank you very much. And this is Christo. I was at home. I'm a little. Debe stop.
Exactly. Hey, I'm over there. Go over there, please, for me.